Hey everybody, how you doing? And this is a different look. This is Snoop Dogg, and he's holding the mic. And before I show you what this is all about, although you might have some hit because of the screenshot and the title, let me explain. Famed Houston lawyer Tony Buzbee is in the process of filing lawsuits and claims that he has sworn statements from many women. He says he's filed 10, 12, and plans to file up to 22 different lawsuits. Now, technically, Tony Buzbee and what he has to do is, talking about Tony Buzbee, he doesn't have to do that. All Tony Buzbee has to do normally is file one lawsuit, but have 22 names in it. But the problem is that even though he claims to have names of women, he hasn't presented any names, any photographs, any testimonies. This flies in the face of what another friend of mine, Gloria Allred, a famed lawyer in Los Angeles, does when she is filing a suit regarding misconduct. She presents, does Gloria, her actual client. I have interviewed several of her clients. Beverly Johnson with respect to Bill Cosby. I've interviewed the woman that was having the affair with General Petraeus, as well as Herman Cain's mistress of 13 years. They're all Zenny 62 YouTube. So you know who they are. By contrast, Tony has presented no one, and the media has simply filled in the blank for him. And said, hey, he has 22 women. Well, how do you know if he hasn't presented anyone? Because he says so? Very dangerous. Then he says he's a champion of women. In 2018, he threw a party for Hurricane Harvey Relief. Did Tony Buzbee. He paid for Snoop Dogg, who's there singing. And TMZ points out that this is Tony Buzbee in the background. That's right. That is Tony Buzbee in the background. Now, I dare not play the video for copyright reasons. TMZ is very tough about that, but I can show screenshots from the video. Okay, so let's take a look. That's Tony in the background, sitting down in the chair, surrounded by exotic dancers. Snoop is singing. He was hired, Snoop was, by Tony Buzbee, and Buzbee says that Snoop brought the exotic dancers. How do I know all of this? Well, because TMZ says so right here. I will show you. This is the actual article, and I was tipped off to this by a viewer. Thank you. Reads like this. Snoop Dogg may have been the headliner at a Hurricane Harvey Relief party, but the guy throwing the bash, Houston lawyer Tony Buzbee, got the VIP treatment right there on stage. The famed attorney threw a huge holiday shindig this month that reportedly cost $1 million to produce, and it was all for a good cause, to raise money for Hurricane Harvey relief victims. Buzbee clearly spared no expense for the 1,200 party guests, hiring Snoop for the evening's entertainment, who brought along a handful of exotic dancers. One of the girls took a shine to Tony. That is a double entendre. And he didn't seem to mind. Check it out. Okay. Keep in mind that we can't play the video, but there are other things that we can do in terms of looking at this and fast forwarding it, I believe, to about here. And you can see the women dancing, and there's Snoop. And then here, there's Tony sitting down there, right? And then here, and let's go forward here, okay? We can stop it right there. And then here, and then let's stop it right there and move the cursor away where it is quite clear who is behind it. Now, lest we have doubts, let's move this right about here and say where it lands us, right about there. Stop. Okay? Tony Buzbee has been getting his groove on. And basically, the point here is what he is accusing Deshaun Watson of doing is basically occurring in this video from 2018. Specifically, 2018 1/1. That's the date. All right? Take a good picture of that, and then let's see something else here as we do it, because he says Snoop Dogg may have been the headliner, right? All right, and then not only that, as he is talking about being the headliner and everything else is going on, and I am readjusting the video here. I want you to read that, okay? And I'll stop the video when it gets to another TMZ money shot that we're talking about here. And there it is, okay? Right there. There's Tony again, okay? Right there. Right there. The stills are all that matter. I don't have to play the video for you. The stills are what matter. All right? You can look at this for yourself at TMZ, and the link is provided. If I go up here, for you to look at, okay? It is here. There's the date, 1/1/2018, 12:30, okay? 12:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 12:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the title, Snoop Dogg. And you can see the rest during Harvey Relief Party. Okay? So this calls a lot into question about what Tony is really trying to do. Because not only does he have this, but in his press conference, Tony managed to have two assistants, two both female. And then, for reasons best known only to Tony, had a woman with the long blonde hair read the most salacious parts of the lawsuit that I'm not even going to repeat here. And then he says he's a champion of women. Gloria Allred would not do this. You understand? Gloria Allred would not do this. And you're probably saying, well, Zinni, you talk about Gloria Allred, but show us that you actually have interviewed Gloria Allred, and I will do that right now. This is from the Night of 100 Stars Oscar party. And one of a number. And here is a video where she is bringing Ginger White, in this instance, who is the alleged mistress of Herman Cain, all right? This was at the Night of 100 Stars Oscar party from March 6th of 2012, right here, right now. Make sure that you can hear it. Unmute. And turn up. And here we go. First of all, introduce your colleague here. Your
this is Ginger White. Ginger is the young woman who had a 13-year relationship with Herman Cain.
Right.
And who had the courage to come out and say that publicly. As a result of which, Herman Cain decided no longer to run for the Republican nomination for President of the United States. And she did it in order to be supportive of other women. So Ginger White is a true life heroine.
Now, it's fun because you live in Atlanta. My mom lives in Atlanta. I go back and forth. How has your life changed since you came out that well? Daringly, came out that way for want of a better term.
Well, it's changed considerably. It taught me a lesson not to ever walk out of the house.
I kind of wondered about that.
It's been pretty tough. But, I have a daughter, a 20-year-old daughter, and an 18-year-old son. And they're very proud. I have two sisters. They're very proud. And to have someone like Gloria, on my team and by my side, it makes it all worth it.
Now, you're an Obama supporter? So,
I like it. I do. I like it.
I'm an Obama supporter.
So am I. That's why I asked.
I like it.
I'm going to get you on Barack's team.
Yeah, maybe he'll like that. I don't know. We'll see.
I know him personally. He's a great person.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? Because you're now in the publicity circuit because she's very good at it. So I'm going to ask you, why are you here? Because people are going to ask that when they're watching.
Sure.
What's the answer?
Well, two reasons. I mean, the Oscars and Gloria's fantastic, invite. You can't turn that down. And when Gloria invited me, it just felt like we had never met. This is our first time meeting. And it's been...
She's a legendary great lady.
She is.
She really is. I'm serious about that.
And I'm just honored. So Gloria is why I'm here.
I just wanted to put a smile on her face and let her have a good time.
Yeah, she's been through a hard time after that. That's,
Well, you know what? It's fine because I think I would have been going through a harder time with my conscience if I hadn't stepped up and done the right thing. So, those two shall pass, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you.
See, that's what you do, all right? When you have a real client, you present them to, the press, and they can ask questions and get answers about her intent and move forward. That's not what Tony is providing. He is saying stuff about Watson that no one has been able to really verify because he hasn't done what Gloria Allred does. You cannot present the kind of case that Tony is presenting in California. You cannot do a Jane Doe civil lawsuit charging sexual assault. You have to present your client and have your client talk, or clients in the instance of what Tony is claiming. It is wrong and insulting to attorneys like Gloria Allred for Tony, who's wading into an area that is not really his legal specialization to begin with by his own admission, to do what he's doing. And Mike Florio did call it right, even though he got a lot wrong, and when he talked about it the other day, but he did call it right in basically saying that Tony is making this more about him and than anybody else, because he hasn't presented anybody else. He has let the media fill in the blank for him. And the media should not be doing that. It is, in essence, advancing an error. Okay? And those who call themselves a journalist, I'm a vlogger and a media tech person. I do not call myself a journalist. Because I am told by people who say they're journalists that journalists are supposed to make the powerful uncomfortable, right? Tony is a powerful guy, but no one has made him uncomfortable by truly questioning what he's doing. He's made it look like Deshaun Watson's the powerful guy. He's a 25-year-old kid who scored a lot of money because of his talent. And how do you go as long as he has, and then all of a sudden there's this big thing, this big problem? It would be one thing if Tony Buzbee had a press conference and he introduced the accusers in real life. But he didn't do that. And so what people do, because no one wants to be thought of as speaking against women, is say, oh, well, they probably. Again, you don't know that they exist. Unfortunately, Tony has a track record of saying he has, for example, 400 clients, but not really having 400 clients, in the instance of a lawsuit that was written about a few years ago and is on Oakland News now. Tony's specialization is in class action lawsuits. So he will say, as he said in his press conference on Friday, if you feel that you've been wronged, if you have a story to tell, contact us. That's a class action lawsuit strategy. It doesn't mean that anybody is out there is doing it. It does invite, in the middle of a pandemic where people need money, someone who may come along and invent a fraudulent case. And that is where Tony is making a gigantic mistake in his approach. He could very well bring in the wrong element. This could be something that's ignited by someone wrong to begin with, okay? So there is a big problem with Tony's approach, but the biggest problem of all is that Tony, this is just the tip of the iceberg for Tony in terms of this Hurricane Harvey event. Okay? And what, why was Tony on the stage? How can Tony justify that? No one asked him. All right? Ask him. Ask him. Say, hey, Tony, can you, explain your appearance at this party? Why did you choose to be up on stage? I know you paid for the event, right? But what's the deal? And how can you justify this? All right? How can you justify this and yet say what you said regarding Deshaun Watson? How can you do that, Tony? How can you do that, right? And it's his party, and according to TMZ, this is not something hidden. This is TMZ saying he is having a great time, okay? And all right, how can he justify this sort of thing, right? How can he decide, Tony, that this image should be ignored? That we should say, oh, you know what? Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. TMZ thought there was something to see there because, you know what? They put it out there front and center. Okay? They put it out there front and center. And then not only did they put it out front and center, they kept editing to the parts where Tony was quite involved. This is TMZ putting this out here. All right? What's going on? What is going on? All right? What's going on? Look at this, okay? All right? Mr. Buzbee. This is Tony Buzbee. All right? He's over here. Snoop's over there. Okay? What's up? All right? I don't really want to know the answer. There's this old saying about pictures and in 1,000 words, right? So, okay? it's a shakedown case. That's what this is. It's a shakedown case. All right, straight up, that's what it is. It's a shakedown case. Straight up. He's trying to shake down Watson for money. Because if it were not about money, he wouldn't be asking for any. So, yeah, it's not a good look. You know, and Tony says he's, you know, I'll tell you just to round this out, folks. This is what bothers me about this. I saw one of Tony's videos, smaller ones, where he was actually on the street as if he were homeless, trying to find out what the homeless were going through during the recent Texas cold front where the power was out, and he was trying to make a case for them. Props to Tony for doing that, okay? Tony Buzbee is, by appearances, a very complicated person. 2005, he was a Democrat. Then he's a Republican supporting Donald Trump, but then he runs away from Trump when the whole Access Hollywood stuff comes up. But then he puts $500,000 into his inauguration, all right, after saying he is done with Trump. He wasn't totally so done that he didn't put $500,000 in. Why? Because what happened was that Trump turned around and won. So it's quite clear to me that Tony Buzbee is about one thing: the buck. He don't take prisoners. All right. This is a scene. Snoop Dogg over there. There's Tony Buzbee over here. Okay? Rockin' party for Hurricane Harvey Relief. And according to TMZ, the VIP had the most fun. Well, you know what? It's not fun to see what he's trying to do to Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson did what Tony claims he did, the accusers should come forward, just as they do with Gloria Allred, and speak with their own voice, not through Tony's. That's only right. Not only that, Tony has a track record of going over the top to try to make black men look bad. He did so with Kevin Sumlin after Sumlin's Texas A&M Aggies were beaten in, I think, the greatest comeback in college football history by UCLA Bruins in 2017. He did it with, in fact, SVP, Brad Van Pelt, said that what he did was over the top. And then in running against Sylvester Turner, among other things, Tony had a fake text message made up trying to say that Mayor Turner was texting for salacious reasons. That was the implication, okay? An intern. Had no idea what the text was about. But he made an artist rendition of the text. A reporter, doing what reporters are supposed to do, asked the right question. Well, is that really a text? Well, Tony was forced. Hey, when Tony is pressed, he'll tell you. He said, no, it's not the real text. It's what the art people came up with. And so the reporter pressed on and said, so you don't actually have the text? No. I mean, there was a phone record that there was a text. You know what that was? It could have been a butt dial text. You have no idea. Tony used dog whistle racism, among other things, because according to Fox 26 Houston, Tony also enlarged the mayor's nose to make it look like he had a bigger nose. Tony just sort of flopped it off. Tony has a track record of doing a lot of things that are not in the way he's trying to take down high-profile black men. And his latest target is Deshaun Watson. Subscribe to Zitty62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.
Oh, I want to say something else too. Do not, please, for those of you who are fans of Deshaun Watson, leave Tony Buzbee alone. Do not threaten him. In other aspects of life, Tony seems like, and I want to pray that he is a good man, okay? Just not this one. But please, do not bother him. All right? Let this all play out. But don't give the man his space and comfort and let him do his work. And hey, if you find something else, let me know about it. I'll publish it. But respect the man, okay? Even at this time, please respect the man. Do not scare the man. That's wrong. I just want to say that. I want to have that on record. That is absolutely wrong. All right. Subscribe to Zinni62. Bookmark OaklandNewsNow.com. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.